Hello, everyone. Sergio here. Today, we're going to focus on instant feedback in speakable activities. But let's give other attendees a couple more, no, one more minute. In the meantime, yes, let me explain what we're going to do today. So, one of the features that Speakable has that it offers students particularly is the ability for them to receive immediate feedback on the activity that they're doing. So the students don't have to wait until the teacher corrects the assignment. Speakable will correct the assignment and provide the instant feedback to the students in real time. So immediately after the student has answered. So we're going to focus on that. There are several things we can tweak here and there to optimize this, or to there are different settings that we can use, and different types of cards will lead to different types of feedback possible. The simplest of options, we're going to have like normally one type of feedback, but response, which is our most advanced card, is going to have multiple different types of feedback available to the student. And of course, we're going to talk about how to access that and see what Speakable has given the students as feedback, as comments. So welcome, everyone. Again, if you are new, Speakable is a software that will allow teachers to maximize their students' practice time while improving. Their students will be getting instant feedback, will be automatically graded. And that also has a secondary objective of saving the teachers grading time. So if you want to automate a lot of the repetitive tasks that are related to teaching, then Speakable might be the right tool for you. there tends to be like traditionally Speakable is a tool focused on language learning. So most of our customers are teachers who teach languages, of course, but this can be applied to any kind of teaching. We're going to go over a couple of details that will optimize this for other languages as well. But yeah, for now, let me then start sharing my screen. I always miss this. Okay, where is my screen? Yeah, here it is. Okay. You should be able to see my screen now. So let me just rearrange my layout here so that it's easier to, okay, cool. So we have here a like this is our home, but this is where we will be able to begin. So most of what we define today, or most of this of the feedback, instant feedback, is going to be regarding activities, right? So let's create an activity, or we can open an activity that already exists in order to understand the differences between all the different instant feedback types. So let's create one for this one. I'm going to start from scratch so that we can see everything one by one. I'm just going to give this a title. So with this instant feedback webinar. And I'm going to give it a cover image. In this case, yeah, why not? The picture of Madrid. It's the first thing I see, so I'm going to use it. All right, so just a picture of Madrid. And let's begin with all the different card types and the type and the way the instant feedback is provided. So a multiple choice, of course, is like the wrong or the right answer will be shown to them. So what is the capital of Spain? All right, so that's my question. I'm going to add the options. So Bilbao, Barcelona, Madrid, and finally Valencia, right? So I'm going to select the correct answer here. This is, of course, my teacher interface. But the way the students will see this is they go to the preview. If you go to the preview, you will be able to see what this looks like. Let's make this prettier though. So let's add image Spain, and I'm going to just make this a little bit prettier. Let's use the crest. Okay, so now we have the crest, and click on preview, and now you will see what your students will see, right? So one thing you can do, look, so if you choose the wrong answer, for example, I'm going to go with Bilbao, right? It's displayed immediately, like, okay, this is the wrong answer. You can, like right now I have retries on, but you may decide to turn this off. So here you can allow retries off, so that if your students get it wrong, they get it wrong, and that's it, right? But in this case, if I want to allow retries, and let me try again. Now I'm going to choose the right answer, and it's just we get this instant feedback. So of course, the right answer was Madrid. You can also ask a question that has multiple correct answers. For example, which, let me change the question here. Which of these animals are mammals, right? So I'm going to change my options to the whale, crocodile, an ostrich, a tiger. Let's add a crab. Let's add a dog. And finally, let's add a salmon, right? And I'm going to click on multi-select, and I'm going to choose all the correct answers, which are these three. Okay, so now I can click on preview. Oh yeah, sure, the crest doesn't work now. But let me, you know what? Let me do this in a different one. So I'm going to copy this one, but I'm going to change this one. So I'm going to remove this and just add the image of a zoo. And oh my God, no, I wanted an illustration. Zoo illustration, better. Okay. So I like this one. Looks AI generated. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay. So now I chose the right ones, the correct answers here, and I'm going to click on preview, and I'm going to select the ones that are correct. So tiger, dog, but you know what? I'm going to pick the incorrect one. So I'm going to go with crocodile. I'm going to submit, and you will see like the students will get feedback immediately. Okay, these two were correct, but you missed one. So I'm going to click the correct ones, and now the correct ones are displayed. So the immediate feedback is going to be very like easy and simple when it comes to multiple choice questions. So let's move on to the next one. So the repeat card, of course, will allow you to your students to say something, to repeat something, a sentence. So, for example, I am 35 years old. So this is the sentence that I want my students to repeat. Right now, this says unverified because no other teacher has used it. By the way, I'm going back and forth between Speakable and StreamYard. I can see Sarah. I can say, but I want to learn more. Hopefully, this recording I can catch the next one. Yes, of course, Sarah. And you can see all the videos that we have on our YouTube channel, and we're also going to be redoing some of the webinars that are the most popular ones. Okay, so going back to the repeat card, right now I have this set to I am 35 years old. It is unverified, but don't worry. That just means that nobody has used it before, but you can still verify it. I am 35 years old. All right, so this is the way, like this is the feedback that your students will get. So keep up with those reps, and you're going to get yeah, that's correct. And you're also going to get a success rate. So this success rate is going to depend a lot on how many times the student needed to repeat this, right? So if you want to gauge your students, let's say accuracy with pronunciation or word order, the repeat card would be a good way to do it. Let me show you what happens if the students say the wrong thing.
I am 35 years old.
Okay, let me try. I am 12 years old. Nothing, right? So because I didn't say the right answer, it didn't give me the answer. Let me try again, but I'm going to be wrong again. I am 20 years old. Nothing. I am 35 years old. Okay, so as you can see, it took me 4 attempts now. Right? So because it took me 4 attempts, now my success rate is lower, right? So that is what it means. So if you see you will see as a teacher how many times the students were required to repeat until they got it right. So that's what the success rate will display. Now, oops, let me plug in my computer. It's running out of battery. Okay. And you will also be able to tweak how difficult this is, how strict it is. To do so, let's click on settings and repeat settings, where you can change this from very lenient, normal to no leniency. So if you feel that the Speakable is being too strict, then change it to very lenient. If you feel that your students are finding it too easy, then change it to no leniency, so that everything has to be basically perfect for it to be picked up as a correct answer. You can also change the default voice. So we were hearing this voice, but I'm going to pick Sally, and that's something else you can tweak. So the instant feedback for response cards is going to be either nothing or a good job with the success rate, which is again how many times they needed to say this. And that's that's it for the instant feedback. But let's move on to the most important card of them all, which is the response card. So if you don't know, the response cards are there to ask open questions or open prompts to your students. It could be something from hey, how are you, to what is your name, to what are the characteristics of this and that animal, or compare these two cultures. And it could be whatever, right? So the simpler the prompt, the simpler the expected answer. So of course, this is one way you can also adjust for difficulty. The more complex the prompt, the easier, the more difficult it is going to be to pass. So let me show you the instant feedback. So let me ask something simple like, how old are you? Right? So I'm just going to answer, I am 35 years old. All right, I'm going to save my answer, and let's see the first of the feedback screens for response cards, which is the good job, screen. Why the good job screen? Because, well, I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure that oh, it's not saving. that this answer is it's going to be acceptable, like it correctly answers the prompt, and it has no it contains no grammatical errors there. So I have no reason to believe that it's not going to work. So I think we have an out, like we had some issues with the AI server, the AI provider that was processing the answers, because it shouldn't take this long. It should take like 2-3 seconds for it to process a short answer like this. So let me reload actually to see if this works. Okay, so let me try again. I am 35 years old. Let's save the answer. Let's see if we got the reload to help us there. Anyway, so yes, it is. So that's how long it normally should take. Good job. Your response is clear and concise, directly answering the teacher's prompt about your age. Even though there may be minor grammatical errors in other contexts, they do not affect the overall meaning of your response. Keep up the good work. So as you can see, this is the simple passing, you passed kind of screen. Now let me show you what happens if I don't. So I'm going to say something completely weird, like that's not like the right answer. So my favorite color is blue, right? So in this case, even though my grammar was correct, my answer did not really match the prompt, right? So this will trigger the try again screen. So your response does not answer the teacher's prompt about your age. Instead, you mentioned your favorite color. Try to directly address the question, how old are you, by providing your age. Remember to keep your answer clear and concise. So this is what happens when the prompt is not answered. So if your students decide to just say whatever, it's not going to cut it. And as you know, like based on the previous on this screens, this is not a cookie cutter response. Like this feedback is specific to my answer. Look, it knows what I answered. It knows I answered about my favorite color. You will also see here like the what we call the grammar insights. Now, because there were no grammar mistakes in the grammar insights, nothing is highlighted. But I'm going to show you what happens if the students do make mistakes. Now, the suggested response, if you click on it, is going to be the perfected version of the answer. So it's going to include what I missed, right? So let me try again. I'm going to say the correct things, but I'm going to make mistakes and say word order. So I have 35 years, right? Which is a very common mistake. The English speakers, the English teachers among us will know how common this is, how frequent this mistake is made, simply because in other languages this happens. So as you can see, like, okay, it clearly answers the teacher's question, but there's a grammatical issue, right? So I have 35, no, I am 35 years, right? So it correctly identifies the problem, and in the suggested response, again, it corrects my mistake. Now, the AI, because the prompt is very simple, and this is such a common mistake, it's still going to give me a passing grade because, okay, there was an effort. But you can make this more like strict, right? So how old are you exactly, right? For example, you can add words like that so that the AI knows, okay, more precise information is going to be requested. So let me show you what happens if the grammar mistakes are just too big for this to be considered a passing grade. So I have 35 years of age. No, you know what? I think that's going to pass. No, let me do something weird. I have old 35 years. Okay, let's see if those two mistakes combined are going to trigger a good try again, and it did. So try again. Your response does provide an age, which is relevant to the teacher's question. However, the phrasing "I have old 35 years" is not grammatically correct. You might consider rephrasing to "I am 35 years old" to improve clarity and correctness. Keep working on organizing your thoughts in complete sentences. So, as you can see, the previous mistake was acceptable, but this one is not. So in this case, the student is prompted to try again. And again, we have the grammar insights, the corrected version, and the suggested response, the corrected version. So this is like the initial, like the default instant feedback screens for the response cards. However, there are many things we can tweak. We can display more information by clicking on feedback and opening the WIDA level. In this case, WIDA for English. But if you're teaching other languages, we have the ACTFL level, estimation here as an option. So if you want to also know where that answer would, let's say, put your student in the scale of WIDA or ACTFL, then that's another thing. So if you're teaching another language that is not English, you can also have the language, the feedback be displayed in that language, right? So if you're teaching French, then all of that text, like, oh, very clear and concise response, do you if you want that to be displayed in French because you're teaching French class, then you can do that as well. The only options that I have here are English because that's my default language, and English because this is an English activity. But I can show you that in a different one. So I'm going to create another response card and change the language for this one specifically to, say, German. And I'm going to write the same question, but in German. Wie alt bist du? Right? And I'm going to have the display be in German, right? And I'm going to answer this. Ich bin 35 Jahre alt. Okay, so that's my answer. And let's see the feedback that's provided, but again, not in English, but in German. Deine Antwort ist klar und präzise und beantwortet die Frage des Lehrers direkt. Auch wenn in kleinen Grammatik, so anyway, so we have the entire feedback in the language that you're teaching. That's something that you can do if you want to change this instant feedback screen to the target language. Okay, let's go back to our original one, which is this one. And let me show you other things we can tweak, like the weed level. We're going to turn that on. And we're also going to turn on the rubrics, right? So there has been a video, a webinar on rubrics specifically in the past, and we will have it again. But like to make this quick or short, for a quick understanding of what a rubric is, then the simple pass-fail system that we have enacted right now is the default one. And this one is basically 1 or a 0, right? So the student's answer passes or it doesn't. So the green or the orange screen, basically. But what determines if it is a green screen or an orange screen depends on how closely the student's answer adheres to this description. The student's response is clear and concise and answers the teacher's prompt. Grammar errors are insufficient to detract from the overall meaning of the response. So if you want to change how difficult it is, you can define, for example, you can change it to grammar errors are insufficient to there are no. So like you can be like super strict and no grammatical errors are going to be acceptable. Yeah, you can say that here. And now the same question, even though basic, is now going to have, like a zero tolerance kind of way. And the only possibility is that everything is perfect. Right? So you can tweak it, and that's going to influence, say, a bias towards the green or the orange screen. But if you don't want this to be black or white, regardless of how you define black or white, you can also have a series of grayscales, and that is a rubric. So in order to edit it or to see what it is, you can open the rubric and see what it is. So in this case, it's not 1 or 0, pass or fail, but it's 6 points. So it's going to be a scale of 0 to 6, where each of these categories is going to be awarded points for grammar, 0, 1, or 2, depending on how advanced or how correct it was. Relevance, 0, 1, or 2. Completeness, 0, 1, or 2. So this way you can also, let's say, reward students if they're trying to say complete answers, or if they are going saying something really weird, not related to the prompt, then they're going to be, of course, even though the answer is perfect in this example, they will be given a 0 in relevance because the answer had nothing to do with the prompt, right? Anyway, so there you can customize it. You can add levels. You can remove levels. You can add criteria. You can choose from a big library of rubrics that we have here. Like the speakable prompt evaluation. If you prefer the Euro stuff, then you like the Euro systems, you can go with CFR, and you can add the CFR proficiency evaluation rubric. You can add the one you want. For this one, I'm going to go to the standard one. So I'm going to use this one, and just to show you what it is. Again, if you want to tinker with the rubrics, feel free to do it. This is one of those things, one of those tools that will give you a lot of liberty to really define what makes a passing score or an orange screen. So let's use this rubric, but let's make this more complex, because how old are you is probably overkill to use rubrics. So I'm going to ask something else, like describe your house and the environment where you live. For this, because this is a bit of a longer answer, I'm going to extend this from 30 seconds to 3 minutes. I don't think I'm going to use the 3 minutes, but I'm just going to extend it, just to be fair, to be sure about this. So I'm going to just go ahead and try this. But remember, we have the rubrics on, we have the WIDA level on. So let's test those things and how those are displayed instantly to your students. So I live in a big house that is in Bogota. It is very high altitude, so it tends to be rather cold. But it's nice all year round. Like, we don't have very extreme temperatures. This place I like because it has a nice backyard where my dogs can play, and the vegetation keeps everything fresh, and I feel like the air quality is very good because of it. Okay, so there you go. 33-second answer. I'm going to save it. And let's see what the rubrics do in this case. So I made some mistakes here and there. My answer was probably going on tangents a bit. So let's see how relevant that is. And let's see. Okay, so relevance and completeness, fantastic. But the grammar mistakes were indeed a cause for a reduction in this. So now the instant feedback is not the good job or try again. Now they show me the number, right? So I got a 5 out of 6, and it's explained, like, in general, it's explained here. Like, you did a great job describing your house, environment, showcasing relevant details, the space for your dogs. Anyway, and but it also tells me what it can improve, right? Pay attention to your grammar, particularly run on sentences and word repetition to enhance your clarity. Cool. And I can see exactly in these rubrics what happened, right? So completeness, the response is complete and provides a clear and detailed answer, mentioning various aspects of a house and its environment, like location, climate, backyard, and quality. Remember something, you can have, like, this is in English, but remember, you can have this be in any language you want. So this language can be provided in the student's native language or in the language that you're teaching. Relevance, again, 2 out of 2, fantastic. But the grammar, the student response contains a few grammatical errors, such as the awkward repetition of its and run-on sentences. However, these errors minimally affect the understanding, and thus I get an intermediate. But also remember that we turned on the WIDA estimate, and I can see it here. I got a 4 expanding, and the definition for it. The student's response demonstrates good linguistic complexity with coherent discourse that includes a variety of sentence structures. You can see the specifics, like the use of specific vocabulary such as high altitude, vegetation, and air quality indicates a good range of vocabulary. So all of these elements, let's say, are considered into the student's WIDA estimate. So I was giving a very good score here, despite my mistakes. But of course, if I hadn't made those mistakes, I probably would have gotten a 5. So, we can try again. And the students, for your overachieving students, if they take a look at this and they do not like, they're not, it's not enough for them. It's like, okay, I got a 5 out of 6, but I want a 6 out of 6. They can check the rubric and they can see the definitions of what makes a 2 in grammar, so that they can try again, but this time with the the corrected version, the suggested response. They can basically use this and try again to see if this gets them a better score in both the rubric and the WIDA estimate, or actual estimate if you're teaching other languages. So this instant feedback screen is very powerful. Like, if you want it to be simple, it can be simple. If you want it to be detailed, it can be detailed. And remember, our rubric had 3 fields: grammar, relevance, and completeness. But if you're using a rubric that has 7 criteria to be evaluated, then the instant feedback will show them 7 aspects of evaluation, right? So this is one way you can really zoom in and I know, like, micromanage almost the evaluators and what goes into into the instant feedback. So yeah, that's like the main features that we have for instant feedback. Let me also show you what happens if auto grading is off, right? So you can also turn off auto grading entirely. What that will do is it will listen to the students. It will provide it would provide the grammar insights and everything, but it will not be scored, right? So if you don't want this to be pass fail, or if you don't want the rubrics to give them numbers, you can simply if you simply want to give your students a chance to practice without the fear of getting a bad score or something, turn off auto grading entirely, right? And that way the students can do this. Let me show you that screen. I live in a big house with a big a backyard, and it's full of green. My wife has planted lots of plants there, and most of our salads come from the garden, which is a nice thing to have. I really like that it's very bright, but I don't like that sometimes the air can be very dusty, so I have to clean stuff all the time. Okay, so again, I just gave my student some time to practice. The student can say everything, and they can hear their answer. But because there was no auto grading, like you can decide this for yourself. If you were using a Speakable Teacher Basic, then this is going to be the option that you have, because there's no auto grading by default on that. It's auto grading. The normal auto grading is going to be available for Teacher Pro, and the rubric grading is going to be available for organization level teachers or users in general, because it's not just teachers. Anyway, so that's the when you have auto grading off. Again, most of the times I recommend just turning it on, because that's like the big time saver when it comes to grading. Okay, so those are the instant screens that we have here in the three different card types. I am excluding the media page, because of course the media page only allows you to put like textbook stuff, passive knowledge information here, add videos, things like that. You can add this here. Also, I am going to briefly mention this, but when you use AI context, you can attach context, attach pictures, or attach video from this card or another card, and Speakable is going to understand what the image is about. So if for example, I'm going to add this picture of the zoo, right? And I'm going to ask a question about it, like, what animals can you see in this picture, right? Let me go back to pass fail just for this, and I'm going to show you what it would look like. So it knows the context. It knows that the image depicts a vibrant and whimsical zoo entrance framed by lush greenery and the world. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, you can see many animals in that picture, such as monkeys, giraffes, lions, and elephants. Right? So that's going to be my answer. By the way, I'm not sure if that's correct. I didn't really pay attention to the image, but it looks like yes, it was correct, right? So like the feedback screen will reflect that, yeah, this was indeed the image. If the students say something that's completely like out of whack, like it's not really true, then the feedback is going to tell them that's not what the picture was about, right? It's going to be what it tells them. Anyway, so those are the differences in feedback screens. However, there are a couple of things that I need to mention too. So if you have this this activity and you're ready to assign it, there is one more thing that can influence the type of or the way your students will receive feedback. So let's publish it. I'm going to click publish, and okay, I have the cover picture, I have the title, and I have this is English as a new language. I can change this to other categories like science, English, language arts, social studies, or world languages, and I can save it to a folder. If I click on publish, this will simply be stored in my library. That's it. However, it is already stored as a draft, but I can publish it to make it, like, let's say, an official activity. I can also click on publish and assign for this to assign it to a classroom. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to click on publish and assign, and I'm going to do it twice, and I'm going to show you why. There are two ways we can assign activities, and this is a very common question we get from our users, and that is, okay, what is the difference between practice and assessment? Okay, the difference is that when you assign this as practice, then and you have auto grading on, then your students will receive the instant feedback immediately. Like that image with a good job and the rubrics and the ACTFL level. All of that is going to be displayed immediately. And the other option is assessment. So the difference between this is that in assessment, the students will not see the instant feedback unless you clear it, right? So how does it work? Your students answer the activity, and then they get like, okay, cool, this has been submitted to the teacher. Hold for your, to see the results. And then you will get a notification that says, oh, this student has submitted the activity. And then you can go in and see the answers, and you can then approve the feedback that was provided. Why? Because what if for example, that rubric that I used, it was a 5 out of 6, right? What if you disagree? Then if you click on assessment, then you're going to have the chance to take a look at that 5 out of 6 and change it, right? So you're going to see that the computer gave that Speakable gave the student a 5 out of 6, but you disagree. You think, oh no, I'm going to value this student's efforts. I'm going to change the grade to a 6 out of 6, and then you publish. So the students will not see that 6 out of 6 until you publish the grade for them. However, you can have like the best of both worlds. Have it be an assessment, but the students can see their answer. So let me assign it first as practice, and I'm going to assign it to Español 3. So this is practice. Yes, practice. Schedule assignment. I'm not going to give it a started or a due date. I'm just going to make it available from now on. I can send this link to my students, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to assign it again, but this time as an assessment to the same classroom. And we're going to do the activity as both practice and assessment to see the difference between them. So, okay, the assignment has been created. Let me go to the classroom where we have it, which was Español 3. And you will see that they are labeled. One instant feedback is practice, and the other one is assessment. So let's do a couple of these. I'm going to hit preview so that I can do the answers myself. I can answer. So start activity. Which of these activities? Animals or mammals? Okay, we already determined that these were these 3. Submit. Instant feedback is provided. Fantastic work. Keep it up. This is a repetition. I'm going to skip it.
I am 35 years old.
I am 35 years old. Cool. Let's go to the next one. I can see giraffes, monkeys, elephants, and 1 lion. I'm going to save my answer. And again, because we selected everything as practice, then the feedback screen is provided to me. Next, I'm just going to, and this is nothing here, and I'm just going to send my answers, right? Okay, my answers have been submitted. Now let's do the same thing, but with the assessment, right? So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to, again, click preview, and I'm going to do the activity. So I'm going to select the correct answers, save. But I do not get the instant feedback. Okay, these are the answers. Let me go with next. This is the same one. We repeated it.
I am 35 years old.
I am 35 years old. Cool. And now the important one. I can see 2 giraffes, monkeys, an elephant, and a lion. Save my answer. But remember, this time we don't have, this is an assessment. So the screen that we get is, oh, submit it. Just wait for your teacher to grade it. Okay, let's click next, and send my answers again. Okay, now we did the same thing twice, but in this case, like, okay, awaiting teacher's review and awaiting teacher's review, awaiting teacher's review, instead of getting the score like immediately in every card. So let me go back and see what it looks like when it from the perspective of the teacher, right? So, okay, 11% of my classroom has submitted the feedback. That's me, of course, and I am the only one here. This is the practice one. Yes, this is the practice one, and I can see the scores. But because remember that these were already displayed to the student, so I can see them here. I can open the responses, and I can add some feedback of my own. So remember that the student already received this feedback, but I can add some more, like "good job" said here. Right? I can just add this, and when I publish this this comment, it's going to show up in the student's inbox, just like when you have a new assignment. So you can here change the score from 0 to 1, or if it's a rubric from 5 to 6, you can do whatever. Add the comments, and then your students will see it here. See? So good job, Sergio. Now the comment has been provided here. Now this is going to be a step that is necessary. Because take a look at this one. Sergio has submitted the assessment instant feedback. So if you have an activity selected as assessment, then you will receive a notification when a student completes it, so that you can go ahead and I received an email, actually. I also received an email like, hey, the teacher has added a comment on your assessment. Anyway, so let's go and click on this. and I can see immediately the results. So I can check everything. Okay, I'm going to approve this. This is going to be a 1 out of 1. Fantastic. This is also going to be a, this is, so this, remember that this feedback is not, it was not provided to the students immediately. It was done, like the auto grading was done, but it was not displayed to your students. So when I am done, I'm going to go ahead and, yes, give full credit. I'm going to give the student full credit, and I'm going to finalize it. When you click on finalize review, then the student will be able to see it. So they can go back to their inbox and they will see, oh, my assessment has been evaluated, and I can click on it and see what the scores were. Right. So this is once the teacher has solved it, right, or has already graded it, that's when the students will be able to see it. So if for example you think that you did everything correctly and you assigned the activity, the auto grading was turned on and everything, but your students still cannot see the scores, then check that, is this an assessment or a practice, right? If this was an assessment, then you can click on it and edit it so that you can change, like, like whatever, or you can assign it again to make sure that it is a practice and the students are indeed getting the feedback instantly. So remember, those are the two types of activities that we have. So you can assign it as practice, the students will get the results immediately, or assessment, it will be auto graded, but the scores will not be displayed until you clear them for them, right? So until you manually go in and see the answers and approve the answers, or change the grades and approve them there. So those are like the little, I guess, intricacies or the other options related to instant feedback. And remember that you can add comments as well, so that your own comments, not just the AI comments, are displayed. So I received this comment, I can click on it, and I will see that this is the answer, the comment that my teacher provided on top of the AI provided feedback. So there you go. We have instant feedback, and also, let's say, post assessment feedback if you select assessment and not practice. So yeah, that's basically what I have for today. Let me change the layout a little bit. So this was basically on instant feedback. We're going to have more webinars. For example, tomorrow we're going to talk about listening and reading comprehension. Next week, we're going to have more webinars on fluency, how to use the AI creator, and also how to use the ACTFL and WIDA level estimates more accurately, or when it is good to use them. But yeah, for now, let me just give the audience the room. So if you have any questions or comments, I know we have audience on StreamYard, YouTube, and Twitter. If you comment on this, well, I will see it. Everything is going to be compiled on StreamYard. So if you have questions, let me know. If there's something that you're interested in, for example, if you haven't tried Speakable organization, but you would like to, then let me know. We can arrange a school-wide pilot or even a district-wide pilot, so that you don't only know if this is the right tool for you, but if this is the right tool for your school or your district. So let us know. Also, if you're not watching this live, and so you cannot tell me this right now, but you're watching this over YouTube, and you're interested in taking in doing a school-wide pilot, then you can also do this through our website. So feel free to click on to go to speakable.io. There's a space there where you can contact us and request a pilot. Also, if you have any questions, if you are a current user, let me know if you have any questions. I can see that there are no comments at the moment. So yes, I'm going to give this a close, but yes, thank you very much for attending this webinar, for your attention, and keep your eyes peeled for the following ones that we're going to do next week. Now, next week, we're probably going to have fewer webinars because part of the team and myself, I'm going to travel for work. We're going to be visiting some schools as well. So if you're in our organization plan, you're interested in this kind of attention, feel free to let us know, and we will help you out. So yeah, that was the webinar on instant feedback. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below or in the website, and have a lovely rest of the day. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.